Today I am going to be sharing some of my top thrifting tips with my niece, Katie. Welcome to the Dress Up Mom. But first, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you are a regular viewer and subscriber, I absolutely love you. Thank you so much. If you are new to the channel and you like what you see, please subscribe. It's just a button here somewhere. It means the world to me. We're on all the social media outlets, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Dress Up Mom, hashtag The Dress Up Mom. You can check us out there too. And maybe a little thumbs up too if they like this.
For sure.
Okay, so like I said, I'm super excited because today on the channel we have Katie back. We've done a couple of these together, but it's been a little while. And so Katie texted me a couple weeks ago and said, hey Aunt Rajka, I've gotten into thrifting and I would love to talk to you a little bit about that. So of course I'm eating that up. So today I'm really curious to hear about sort of what Katie's been doing and the kinds of things that you would like to talk about and need help with. So tell me about your thrifting adventures.
Okay, so being a recent poor college student, now in the real world and getting like a professional job, I'm trying to find clothes that are professional, that aren't going to break my budget.
Perfect.
Yes.
Well, and let's not forget, you want to be sustainable,
Yes.
you want to be doing good for the planet and everything else. I mean, it's not only are you going to be not breaking the bank, you're going to be doing good as well and find some great things. So that's what I was curious about. So this is thrifting for you. You're not trying to resell or anything like that. You're just trying to find things for yourself.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you find once you get into it a little bit more.
Yes, I would like some practice.
And then if I am remembering correctly, you also do know how to sew a little bit?
A little bit. I can hand sew.
You can hand sew.
Yes.
And you're really crafty too. So you can do some fun things with clothes if you find some things. Okay.
I'd love to find like a jean jacket and paint it.
Okay, good. All right, I think we can do that. All right, so you were telling me that you were interested in learning about some brands or things like that because you're not sure about them. So tell me about that. Like, what do you mean by that?
I feel like I pass up some good finds that are like higher value that I don't know about.
Okay.
Just because I don't know brands or what to shop for.
I personally am not a big brand shopper. I mean, just because I've been around a long time, I do know a lot of the nicer brands and stuff. So I'm gonna give you some tips on how you can learn about what those are. But then what I really wanted to focus on is what you look for in clothes in general when you're shopping, and particularly when you're thrifting. So basically, what does a vintage tag look like, what you're looking for in the way of fabrics and where it's made and that kind of thing. But as far as just labels, for me, if I was you, okay, if you do start going and reselling at all, anything that's sold at Anthropologie or Free People, all of those kinds of things. So you can go on their website and just sort of look, because they have their own little labels and stuff. I don't really shop at those places, but they have their own labels and the things are. So I was looking, if you just go on their website or go in the stores and start looking around and seeing what's there, so that you know when you spot that stuff, you find it. As far as other kind of like more designer labels, I would also go to places like, you know, designer consignor places like on My Sister's Closet or something like that, and look in their designer section. So you start getting familiar with some of these, you know, European brands and other things that are out there. I think it's easier to do in a place like that because they're already finding things for you that they know are going to sell, instead of going to a big department store where you're not really sure you're going to find a little bit of everything. So I would do that. There's a couple resale, vintage, and sort of newer resale places that I would suggest you follow on Instagram and see what they're selling and what they're doing too, and why, and the way they describe it. My favorite one is up in San Francisco. It's called Shop ReLove. And it's owned by Delilah, who used to be here in San Diego, and she started the shop up in the Bay Area and is like super successful. And then a local vintage shop that I love is called Bad Madge. Tanya, the owner there,
I've seen
also has a bunch of stuff, and she's got great things and she'll describe it. Flashbacks as well. They will get, so you'll just start learning sort of what is out there, what these places are buying. They're professional pickers. So what are they picking? And then if you see it out there, you'll know, I'm gonna get that. So next, Katie, the thing that I probably know more about than brands is just how to look for things. So the fabric and what it's made out of is super important. Like, this is cashmere. Feel it.
I've never felt cashmere before.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, there's a lot of cashmere at thrift stores.
Okay.
A lot of it.
Okay.
So it's going to be marked. If it is, it'll say inside the tag that it is cashmere.
Okay.
See?
Wow.
And this one here is made in Scotland.
Okay.
So really, you're looking for anything that's not made in China. I don't know how else to say it. If you're finding anything from Europe, particularly Italy or Spain, if you're finding things that are even made in the US, for sure that's great.
Okay.
Mexico, Singapore, anywhere other than China, honestly.
Okay.
And you're looking for the highest fabric you can. So something like a cashmere like this, you want to also check things for holes. Some of them, this had a couple little ones that I could actually, go in and mend, and they were fine. You can't see it. And you want to give everything a smell test. Okay? That's something that I learned. There's certain smells and stains. Look for stains. You'll be seeing the things that you can get out, you know. But there are certain stains you just can't. Oh, yeah. And there's certain smells you just can't get out. So pass if it smells funky, if it has stains that are really bad, and if it's too holy to mend, no matter what you find, I would say. I mean, this, you're gonna die. This beautiful cashmere sweater, your Uncle Doug actually found somebody was throwing away in our thing, and he brought it up. He's like, this makes me know that I've taught him some things too. He's like, I found this downstairs in the garbage. It looked like it has cashmere and it's nice.
Not in the garbage.
Well, it was right outside of the garbage area, and I was like, okay, this is great. I took it, I washed it really, really well with my laundress stuff, had tiny little holes, and I have been wearing this pup for years.
It looks amazing.
Right? And the feel of it.
It's so soft. I'm surprised after, like, whoever had this wore it and then you've been wearing it this whole time, it feels as good as it does.
Well, that's because it's cashmere. So again, the cashmere. You are looking for the highest quality fabric as you can. So that is my tip on that one. Then this is a St. John Knits. Now this is a brand that's very good, and it's very good for resale. It's a little bit, sometimes it can skew a little older for someone like you. But this is a super high-end knit brand for the working woman, right?
Okay.
These go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars when they're new.
Wow.
Feel the knit.
Oh, this is like strong and sturdy.
Strong and sturdy knit. This is what you're looking for, not flimsy, not something that's gonna get, because what happens is when you put this on, it keeps its shape and you look really good in it. So this one was a, let's see, I bought this for I think $12.
Wow.
It was an off-white color with a couple stains I got off of it, and I actually dyed this myself in the washing machine.
Really?
So you can dye knit. It shrunk up a little bit, but that's another thing you can do with pieces. If you find them, you can redo them like that.
Okay.
So that's an example of one.
It doesn't even look hand dyed. Like, it looks like it was made to be that.
Isn't that wild? Yeah. And so I turned it into a little bit more of a mini kind of a skirt type of a situation.
Did you hem it too?
No, I didn't. I knew it was going to shrink up enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what you can find for knits. This is a pair of Chanel pants. Ooh. Okay. Now this I got.
That brand's good.
Yeah, feel them.
Okay.
Right? So it's a basic trouser that will never go out of style. And it's like a crepey type of a material. Again, I bought these through ReLove. And yeah, it's good for here, a nice style. But this is what the tag looks like. It'll have a Chanel. You want to be aware of fakes, but I think you can tell the fake again because of the way it's put. Now you can't read this label, but if you could, it would probably say that it's made in France or made somewhere not China. Not China. Hey, no disrespect to China, and there's like great things made there, but for clothes and for high high-end stuff, it's typically not going to be.
You're going to get better
there,
quality.
right? You're going to get better quality. So these I paid a little bit more for. I think like maybe $60.
Okay.
But still, for a vintage pair, I bought them on
And the
ReLove.
pleats stay in them?
The pleats stay in. I had these dry
Wow.
cleaned, but
Okay.
yeah. And I just wear these constantly. This is a true vintage piece, okay? And what I'm showing you here is the way that these vintage tags look. See, you can kind of tell a vintage tag. They look kind of older, right? And also, this is California and Hawaii.
Okay.
This is kind of made in those places. Shaheen is an unbelievable vintage brand. The guy who kind of invented the modern Hawaiian shirt back in the 50s, this is hand painted. And I'm telling you, because you can find some of these cool Shaheen pieces are locally around here. I've seen a lot of them. So that's a kind of a fun brand. And again, more than anything, I wanted to show you these labels. You'll start to see what they look like. You see how it's totally different than our current labels, right? This dress I wanted to show you because I feel this is also like a nice wool.
Wow. I'm surprised that throughout all of these clothing, there's no pilling on any of it.
Because it's nice fabric. And again, see this? Here's the way that the tag looks. It's kind of older. It'll be from boutiques. This I think is a made in USA tag. And this I bought locally at Bad Madge. But so make sure that the stuff doesn't get too faded. It's not faded or anything like that. And there's a lot of great pieces out there. Okay, we're almost done, but I wanted to, this has no tag.
Okay.
And I believe that this was handmade by somebody.
Oh, yeah.
So again, look at the nice stitching on things. The fact that, so handmade stuff is also great to find via resale. And it's, you know, it's modern now with this dress. Who knows when this was made or how, but it's nice fabric. It was in great shape, and I've thrifted this as well.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to have labels. And a Escada piece.
Okay.
Feel this. This is a nice designer brand.
This feels like it's going to suck you in nicely.
It really does. See this fabric? And help me out here. This is made in
Italy.
Italy. Okay. So Escada, I don't know if you're familiar with that brand, Escada. Okay, so Escada is a high-end designer brand, and if you go to my sister's closet, I bought this at my sister's closet.
Okay.
For like, I don't know, $30.
Okay.
So as opposed to a regular t-shirt or something, this is gonna elevate any work look. And you can also, you know, elevate it with jeans or anything like that. So as you start getting familiar with some of these designer brands at places like that, you'll be able to find them because a lot of people don't know about them. This is a Liz Claiborne or Claiborne wear. So this is old from the 80s.
Okay.
So you're probably not familiar with Liz wear and Liz Claiborne, right?
I've seen some of those tags in Goodwill.
Okay, this is now all back in style. You can see that it's made really well. It had these shoulder pads that I took out.
Okay.
But again, this kind of a, you can feel the fabric and how it's made. It's just made better.
Yeah.
And I believe this one also has a tag. This was made in Singapore.
Okay.
So again, that's kind of a fun piece. Finally, I wanted to show you in the way of clothes, don't forget the men's section. The men's section has some great stuff. So this is an oversized blazer that I bought.
Those are really in right now.
Yeah, that I thrifted. And again, look at the lining here and how this is made. It has these kinds of tags. It's all wool. I believe this was made somewhere in either London or somewhere else, but you can see this is a wool, nice fabric, beautifully lined. It had a couple little pieces that I had to go in and change. This one had a funky smell that it took a little while to get out of, but it did get out. But I just wanted to remind you that we can also look for men's pieces, pants and these kinds of things. So the fabric, right? What have we learned so far?
The quality of fabric is important.
And
tags, the older the better.
And
don't go to China. Don't go looking. That's
not made in China.
Not made in China.
Just for clothes that you're trying to decide. I don't want to like diss China on that. Okay, so I also wanted to say that the same basic tips apply for shoes and accessories, all right? So what you're looking for in the way of shoes is leather. Okay. You don't want man-made material. You want leather. You can kind of smell what leather smells like. And then also you want it to be made, again, these are made in Spain. Okay. This is I had never heard of this brand, but I knew it was a designer one. Also, don't forget, with your phone, you can always look this stuff up while you're in there, right? So these are, I never known how to say it, a Donald J. Pilsner, I don't know, I'll put it on here. I looked these up later, they're super, super expensive. Really? Yeah, like a couple $100 worth, because again, they are made out of this nice, it's a designer brand, out of leather and made in Spain. So you're looking for that too. And again, same thing applies. Go to the men's section. These I bought in the men's section. These were made in London. They're old and they're also leather, and you can kind of feel and see the difference in the leather and the way that the heels are. So if you find a nice leather piece that isn't too yucky, you can get them also taken to a shoe guy who can fix them up and make them look brand new. You just don't want holes, you don't want tears, you don't want the heel to be like too out of place. Those are kind of my tips. Is that helpful?
Yeah, really helpful. I'm really excited.
I'm sneaking in a tip because I forgot to tell Katie this. Try to go to thrift shops in the nicest areas that you can, because then the donations tend to be a little bit nicer and higher quality. So pick nice neighborhoods if you can.
Well, we're gonna close out this video, but we're gonna have a part 2 because we are gonna actually go now and do some thrifting, and then we'll do a video about that and show you what you find. So stay tuned for part 2. Until next time, have fun and dress it up a little.